The Finnish ambassador to Nigeria has publicly stated that Simon Ekpa, a Biafran agitator, has hindered Nigeria-Finland bilateral relations. Simon Ekpa was arrested in Finland on charges of terrorism, allegedly inciting violence in Nigeria's southeast. Finland's intervention was commended by Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Nigeria's national security advisor provided evidence for Simon Ekpa's trial in Finland. The Finnish ambassador noted that bilateral ties between Nigeria and Finland have improved since Simon Ekpa's arrest. Simon Ekpa is accused of sponsoring unknown gunmen linked to killings in Nigeria's southeast. Pro-Biafra movements like Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, continue to be at the center of Nigeria's political tensions, with some accusing northern leaders of bias. Some critics have strongly criticized northern Nigerian leaders for allegedly tolerating Fulani herdsmen, who are accused of widespread violence and not being held accountable. The violence in the northern part of Nigeria, attributed to Fulani herdsmen, is said to contribute significantly to food scarcity in Nigeria. They contrast the treatment of IPOB as a terrorist group with the lack of action against violent Fulani herdsmen, who are recognized internationally as one of the deadliest terrorist groups in the world. They call for advocacy and accountability, urging Nigerians to address the root causes of violence and inequality in the country. Let me tell you a story, one that feels like it belongs in the pages of a political drama, or perhaps even a gripping Netflix series. This story has everything: powerful figures, international diplomacy, controversial decisions, and deep questions about justice and fairness. It is a story that revolves around Nigeria, Finland, and a man who has become a polarizing figure, Simon Ekpa. Imagine a sunny day in Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. Inside the presidential villa, Aso Rock, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is seated in a spacious, well-lit room. The air hums with an unspoken tension because this isn't just an ordinary meeting. Seated across from him is Finland's ambassador to Nigeria, her demeanor calm but serious. This isn't one of those visits for exchanging pleasantries or signing trade agreements. No, this meeting has weight, and the topic at hand is as contentious as it gets. The name Simon Ekpa is mentioned, and it hangs in the air like a storm cloud. For those who may not know, Simon Ekpa is a man of dual identities. He is both Nigerian and Finnish, a lawyer by training, and someone who has made waves for his activism. But here's the twist: Simon Ekpa isn't just any activist. He is a self-proclaimed leader in the Biafran movement, a cause that has long sought independence for the southeastern region of Nigeria. Now let me take you back a bit so you understand the significance of all this. The Biafran movement has deep roots. Decades ago, Nigeria was torn apart by a civil war, the Nigerian-Biafran War, also known as the Nigerian Civil War, which lasted from 1967 to 1970. It was a brutal conflict, leaving millions dead, many of them from starvation. The war ended with Nigeria's promise of no victor, no vanquished. But for many in the southeast, the scars have never healed. They feel marginalized in national politics, neglected in economic development, and left to fend for themselves in a country they do not always feel a part of. Simon Ekpa, from his base in Finland, has become a voice for this discontent. Through social media and other platforms, he has called for the independence of Biafra, urging people in the southeast to resist the Nigerian government. His supporters see him as a hero, a man standing up for a marginalized people. But to his critics, and especially to the Nigerian government, he is something far more dangerous: a man inciting violence from thousands of miles away. You see, Simon Ekpa has been linked to a group called the Unknown Gunmen. The name sounds mysterious, almost like something out of a spy novel, but the reality is grim. These gunmen have been accused of terrorizing the southeast, attacking civilians and security personnel, burning down government buildings, and creating a climate of fear. And Simon Ekpa, according to Nigerian authorities, is not just cheering them on from afar, but funding and organizing their activities. This brings us back to that meeting in Aso Rock. The Finnish ambassador looks President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the eye and says, "Simon Ekpa has been a major obstacle in fostering a good relationship between Finland and Nigeria." It's a bold statement, but one she backs up with action. Finland has recently arrested Simon Ekpa on allegations of terrorism. This move, she explains, was not just about addressing the concerns of Nigeria, but also about maintaining Finland's own reputation as a country that stands against violence and instability. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu listens carefully. He nods, his expression thoughtful. "Thank you for your government's timely intervention," he says. His tone is measured, but there's no mistaking the significance of his words. The arrest of Simon Ekpa is a big deal for Nigeria, a step that could potentially ease some of the tensions between the two nations. But let's pause here for a moment. While this meeting might seem like a diplomatic win, the story is far more complex than it appears on the surface. For one, not everyone sees Simon Ekpa's arrest as a cause for celebration. His supporters argue that he is being unfairly targeted for advocating self-determination, a right, they point out, that is enshrined in international law. They say the Nigerian government is using Simon Ekpa as a scapegoat to distract from its own failures in addressing the legitimate grievances of the Southeast. And then there's the issue of double standards. Let me ask you this. Have you heard of the Fulani herdsmen? If you're familiar with Nigerian politics, you know this is another group that has been linked to widespread violence, particularly in the country's Middle Belt region. These herdsmen, who are mostly from the Fulani ethnic group, have clashed with farming communities over land and resources. The violence has been devastating, entire villages wiped out, countless lives lost. In fact, some international reports have ranked the Fulani militants as one of the deadliest terror groups in the world. Yet in Nigeria, the Fulani herdsmen have not been officially labeled as terrorists. Why is that? Critics of Nigeria's northern political elites argue that there is a reluctance to hold the herdsmen accountable because of ethnic and political ties. They claim that while groups like the indigenous people of Biafra, or IPOB, are harshly targeted and labeled terrorists, the Fulani herdsmen are allowed to operate with impunity. This brings us to an unsettling question. Is justice in Nigeria applied equally? A traditional ruler in Benue State, which has been one of the hardest hit areas by herdsmen attacks, recently shared a grim statistic. He said that between 2011 and now, his community has suffered 141 attacks. Let that sink in for a moment. 141 attacks. And the death toll? 577 lives lost. Imagine the pain, the grief, the sheer devastation. Yet, despite all this, the government has been hesitant to take decisive action against the herdsmen. Meanwhile, in the southeast, the unknown gunmen continue their reign of terror. People live in fear, unsure of what the next day will bring. Schools have been closed, businesses shuttered, and families torn apart. It's a situation that has left many wondering if there will ever be an end to the violence. And then there's Simon Ekpa, sitting thousands of miles away in Finland, accused of fanning the flames of this chaos. His arrest has brought some relief to those who see him as a destabilizing force, but it has also raised questions about freedom, accountability, and the role of international actors in Nigerian affairs. As the Finnish ambassador wraps up her meeting with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, there's a sense that this is just the beginning of a much larger conversation. Simon Ekpa's arrest might ease tensions for now, but it doesn't solve the underlying issues. The Southeast still feels marginalized. The Middle Belt still cries out for justice. And the North still faces accusations of complicity in fostering violence. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has promised to address these challenges. He has said that his administration is committed to maintaining Nigeria's unity and ensuring that every region feels included in the national project. But let's be honest, that's easier said than done. Nigeria is a country of over 200 million people with hundreds of ethnic groups, dozens of languages, and a history that is as complex as it is painful. Finding a path forward will require more than just promises. It will require real action, real accountability, and real commitment to justice. As the day turns to night in Abuja, and the lights of Aso Rock shine brightly against the dark sky, one can't help but wonder what the future holds. Will Simon Ekpa's arrest mark a turning point, or will it be just another chapter in Nigeria's long and turbulent story? Only time will tell. For now, the story continues, unfolding in homes and communities across Nigeria, in the corridors of power, and in the hearts of its people. It's a story of struggle and resilience, of hope and despair, of a nation searching for its soul. And it's a story that reminds us that the fight for justice, fairness, and unity is never easy, but it is always worth it. As the story unfolds, let's take a closer look at the ripple effects of Simon Ekpa's actions and the reactions they've triggered, not just in Nigeria, but also in the international community. It's important to understand that this isn't a simple tale of right and wrong. Instead, it's layered with historical context, personal convictions, and the collective struggles of a nation trying to reconcile its past with its present. Simon Ekpa, for better or worse, has become a symbol. For his supporters, he represents defiance against a system they see as unjust. For his critics, he is a destabilizing force who threatens to tear apart a fragile nation.
It's a breaking news, and I don't think it's a good one anyway. Today we see the Finnish ambassador to Nigeria coming up to say things that are like disgusting. I don't know. I'm going to read them out for you, but one of the things she said is that Simon Ekpa has been he said that Simon Ekpa has been hindering their bilateral relationship with Nigeria. That's a Finnish ambassador to Nigeria. Was saying that Simon Ekpa has been a hindrance to their bilateral agreement, relationship whatsoever with Nigeria. And then Nigeria applauded him and the Tinubu clapped for him. Now Finland, though, you see, what am I saying? I just want you to understand that, you see this life, all these things you are seeing, all these things you are hearing, nobody can do anything better for you than that you wish you've done for yourself. This is the same Finland this man, Simon Ekpa, believed, to trust, to depend, served militarily, politically, everywhere. Look at what they're doing because of common thing where I don't even know where they get from. It's a shame. It's a very, very big shame that Nigeria can sell their own intestines just to stop Biafra from coming. But can they do that? Will they succeed? Are they going to succeed? You see, Biafra has gone beyond the point you can stop. Let me read the news out for you a little bit so you will hear. So I'm reading it out from Vanguard newspaper, and the headline, the topic says Tinubu commend Finland for Simon Ekpa's arrest. And then they are still calling it IPOB. No Biafra. They are scared of using the word or the name Biafra. Now listen, let me read for you. President Bola Tinubu on Friday, that is today, in Abuja, welcomed the intervention of the Finnish government with the arrest and the detention of Simon Ekpa. Says the government will not tolerate actions and the statement that could lead to divisiveness among citizens. This is as the Finnish ambassador to Nigeria, Ms. Selin, has said that Simon Ekpa has been hindering bilateral relationships between them and Nigeria. President Tinubu spoke when he received the letter of credence from the Finnish ambassador to Nigeria, Ms. Selin, at the State House. He commended the Finnish authorities for the timely intervention that safeguarded the nation's integrity and mitigated an action that threatened peaceful coexistence. You see, I don't know, everybody know that there is nothing like coexistence, not even talk of peaceful. Finland, no. Everybody, the world have seen what Nigeria is doing and encouraging, and they are still coming to embrace them. They have seen all that happening in the north, all these insurgents, but they are still applauding Nigeria. They have seen them regrouping, reintegrating the terrorists of Boko Haram or ISWAP or Lokawara back to the society. They've seen them said, it's only in Nigeria you have repentant terrorists. All is well. All is well.
Welcome back to this particular story, because we have been following, every bit of the storyline from the onset. So apparently Finland actually has a new ambassador to Nigeria, and her name is Miss Sana Selin, and apparently she is in Abuja. She came to visit the current Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu over the ongoing trial. We all know that there have been a trial. Simon Ekpa has been charged for inciting violence in the southeastern part of the country. So a lot of people are asking, why is she visiting Nigeria at this critical time? Because Biafrans are really concerned about what is going to happen next to their prime minister. Alright, let's go through the story. The Finnish ambassador to Nigeria, Ms. Sana Selin, has disclosed that Nigeria's national security advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, is providing all critical evidence for the ongoing trial of Biafran agitator Simon Ekpa in Finland on charges of terrorism. Ms. Selin made this particular revelation after presenting her letter of credence to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the presidential villa Aso Rock on Friday. According to that statement by the presidential spokesperson Bayo Onanuga, the Finnish ambassador noted that Simon Ekpa, widely believed to be a key sponsor of the so-called unknown gunmen responsible for the killings of civilians and security personnel in Nigeria's southeast region, has significantly strained their relation between Nigeria and Finland. However, she confirmed that bilateral ties have improved following Simon Ekpa's arrest. In quote, she stated, Simon Ekpa has been hindering bilateral relations. The cooperation between our two countries is now progressing well, and the National Security Advisor has been providing all the necessary evidence, Ms. Selin stated. Also, the ambassador also commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his bold reforms aimed at revitalizing the Nigerian economy, and also acknowledging their difficulty but stressing their importance. In quote, she stated, I salute you for the ongoing reforms in the country. They are not easy, but they are essential for Nigeria's progress. Even though it's painful, it's the only path to sustainable development. Ms. Celine further highlighted Finland's interest in supporting Nigeria through peace, mediation, and energy partnerships, expressing optimism about strengthening collaboration between two nations. In response from our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he thanked the Finnish authorities for their decisive actions, including the arrest of Simon Ekpa, which helped safeguard Nigeria's unity and mitigate potential threats to the nation's peaceful coexistence. And also, the president emphasized that this administration would not tolerate any other form of any actions or rhetoric capable of inciting, division among Nigerians. Now, so this is actually everything that happened yesterday. It's one of the reasons why the Finnish ambassador came to Nigeria. But the reactions we have been getting lately from online netizens regarding this particular visit, it's really, it's quite questioning anyway. I don't really know why, I don't really know at this point, I don't really know what to believe anymore, because, for some time, the Biafra Chief of Defense Staff Ngozi Oraboeze has been telling us that they are almost done with Simon Ekpa's case, that a lot of charges has been taken away from him and stuff like that. One thing about Nigeria is that Nigerian media especially is that they are always good in carrying out stories that seems to be quite untrue. I'm not going to really judge this woman at this point, because we need to hear from her. I mean, she has to speak to the public and over this particular issue, because this is just, I believe this should be an should I say closed door meeting that happened, and I'm very definitely sure that most of the would not have.
There's shame on all of them. Food scarcity is ravaging the north because of these Fulani herdsmen. The thing have choked them so much that they can no longer talk. Northern leaders, it is a very big shame on all of you who are calling IPOB a terrorist organization. Meanwhile, your children are the real terrorists. Yes, they are the one. At least Shegumi told us that those bandits are their boys. They are their boys. Anybody that attack them will not get their vote and all that. Then this other one, Baraje Kawu, was the one who went all over the place, say yes, we invited terrorists, we invited this Fulani jihadi to come. That jihad has started in Nigeria. So when you saw and heard all these things, the same northern leaders have no shame to be calling others terrorists. Meanwhile, they are the real terrorists themselves. They are the real terrorists because they are the ones that brought this problem of Nigeria. Northern leaders are the problem of Nigeria. Let them accept it. I have mentioned names here, and the thing that they are not even apologetical about it. So how can we be living with terrorists? If they don't want to live in peace with Nigeria, then they should move out. Look at since how many years now? They will not let us rest. Unfortunately, nobody is talking to them. Everybody just feel like, don't mention their name as if they are God. How long are we going to live with these people in this type of condition? Look at how many lives that have been wasted all over Nigeria. Advocacy, people should rise up and ask the North to question, because we should be calling out names now. We should call a spade, because if this type of nonsense were to be coming from another region, I wonder what the North will be saying.
Say who to say tribalism boko for Nigeria na this na play. If you tell me what Nnamdi Kanu they do for custody when be says on the Igbo their side, if you tell me what Nnamdi Kanu they do for custody when be say Mietiala their side, why be say any time where Yoruba man or Fulani man lead this country, they will keep Igbo man inside dungeon while their own brother we don't commit so much atrocity but they roam around freely? You and I know say Nnamdi Kanu no commit any crime. You no get any gun where they see for a house, even when soldiers raid in house to kill so many people. But for some people they see so many guns, both AK-47 in his house. But today they move freely. I don't want to talk about Mietiala. Why be say they don't allow Igbo man to rest? I will make you watch this video today. make you understand where me at the head to.
Welcome to Precious ATV. Now here we tell on a core of the matter things where they happen for inside Nigeria, especially those where be say mainstream media no go fit open mouth tell on because of say everybody they careful. Now that matter them we want to talk about. Now one of the major problem when Nigeria get we make food costs and things high like this now because of the insecurity for inside the country, and because of this insecurity, one Royal Highness we be say they in charge of the community for inside Benue State don't come out today come talk say Fulani herdsmen don't kill about 577 members of in community for inside 141 attacks wey don't happen between 2011 February till now. That is between 2011 till now, 13 attacks wey don't happen. 570 something people don't die, 77 precisely, 577 people don't die, human beings. 9 these herdsmen don't kill. Meanwhile, the Nigerian government never prescribed herdsmen as terrorist organization, but IPOB they prescribed as terrorist organization. Remind me again, wetin be the crime where IPOB commit and how many people they kill before them prescribe them as terrorist organization? And I see e be say we think say only nothing dey happen. It don't dey reach south now because now Amoteku don dey beg say oh yeah Edakun you want peace because why say cow don't destroy farmlands and farm way worth over 250 something million naira. Cows don't destroy farm way worth over 250 something million naira. So now they beg headsmen for peace. Amoteku. Barrister Darlington dey here with me. Barrister Darlington, thank you so much for joining me. My partner in good governance.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
You don't want to be partner in crime. All right, Barrister Darlington, let's get straight to the point.
Yes.
I beg, why this kind of thing they happen? Remind me, how many people again where IPOB kill before them the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari prescribed IPOB as a terrorist group? What make most northerners now they call Nnamdi Kanu a terrorist? May they leave them, may they no release them, saying the terrorists. How many they kill and how many people there are people now where the headsmen don't kill with this kind of announcement we hear from Benue State?
My dear, in the same way you want to hang a dog, give it a bad name. You see, the people of the north think that they are wise, but they are not. All these things that are going on, are they not aware? You cannot tell me they are not aware. It's just that they believe that the rest of Nigerians have sold their rights, that we don't have power, we cannot confront them, and so they can do whatever they like. But they don't know that it's a matter of time. Because these Fulani herdsmen were given all the boldness to do what they were doing under Buhari. Under Buhari, these people became so arrogant. They were carrying guns, killing without any mercy, destroying farmland, destroying homesteads, destroying human beings. And Buhari looked the other side as if he didn't see what was going on. Meanwhile, any other person that challenged them is seen as a criminal, but the person that was using gun to kill people is not a criminal. But
Buhari dey talk say make people for Benue State try to live in peace with their neighbors.
So you live with peace with somebody who carry gun to kill you, abi? This number that they mentioned is just like a tip of the iceberg. If you go to Agatu and other parts of Benue where this thing have been going on repeatedly, you will now know that over 1 million people have gone down the grave. Over 1 million people have gone down the grave because of these people. So the question you should be asking yourself, why is it that the federal government of Nigeria still pamper these herdsmen? What are they contributing to our GDP? What are they contributing to the economy? What are they contributing to Nigeria except violence? Nigerians, the ball is in your court. If you want this thing to continue, no problem. But it is time we rise up and tell these people that no, you are not even part of us. You migrated into Nigeria. So why have you become so bold and so arrogant as if you are the owner of the land? Why is it that Nigerians are not asking this pertinent question? These people that came from the Sahel, are they Nigerian? The answer is no. So why did they come inside there to kill the original indigenes of this country? And everybody just kept quiet and we are looking at them. If you challenge them, in fact, they will even see you as the real enemy. The northern leaders are just looking the other side. Why these guys are ravaging the whole country? Not even part of the whole country. So At what point are we going to say enough is enough? Is it when they finish all of us? You and I know the reason for food scarcity in Nigeria. It is these same people. These same people, for God's sake, these same people. They wouldn't want farmers to go to their farm. They wouldn't want people of Benue, which happen to be the food basket of Nigeria, to go to farm. Yeah, the federal government is there watching them. They have not been proscribed. Nothing has been done to them. They get bolder by the day. In fact, this is very embarrassing. I have never seen this type of impunity in my life.
So, Barrister Darlington, you know, see, they mentioned say about over 1 million, and they go don't kill or we go don't die from the herdsmen attack. But this particular Royal Highness, we talk this thing. We name His Royal Majesty, His Royal Highness or His Royal Majesty Daniel Abomse of Tenagi community, right? He talk say this one in immediate people low 577. So if for one community 577 feet die, how many go don't die for other places? Remember the numbers wey die for Agato, and we still dey die because almost every time Agato they do, they will never talk the entire villages for inside Benue State. Then come look at Plateau State where they also face the same fate with Benue State. So it shows that you never run into millions.
That's what I'm telling you. Exactly. But then when you now move from there to other part of Nigeria, you now know the numbers we are talking about. The question is, why is it that the federal government have not been very forceful on these people? What is that special thing about Fulani herdsmen that nobody wants to deal with them decisively? Are we going to continue to pamper them? Are they the owner of Nigeria? You see, every time you people talking about Rwanda. If you check very well, this was exactly what happened in Rwanda when the Tutsis were being pampered. They were given all the privileges to do whatever they want to do. At a point, the Hutus got angry, and then hell was let loose.
So, Barrister Darlington, then, person like Bashir Ahmed now, when Namdekano don't carry go courts, say he call him terrorist. For person like Bashir to talk, say maybe no release Namdekano, saying be known terrorist. Meanwhile, no courts for inside Nigeria don't convict them of terrorism yet. You understand? So for Northerners to see IPOB and Namdekano as terrorist, how it be say? What it be say Southeasterners get to do to make sure say we compel government to also look at the level of killings where it be say their own people, that is these herdsmen don't they kill, because now them be the people where don't they really conduct almost act of terrorism. In fact, remember say they also know them for international terrorist organization as the international terrorist organization index. They know them. They act Fulani herdsmen as one of the deadliest terrorist organizations. They remember they the first 10 of terrorist organization. So if they feel they recognize internationally as terrorist group, why if they say they have Nigerian government to do anything about them? Then why we say that the Igbos be soft targets? And everybody would accuse the Igbos or the IPOB of being a terrorist group. Army go full there. Nobody they talk anything.
It is a shame on all of them. They say when you want to hang a dog, give it a bad name. It is a shame on all of them. My happiness is that they are the one bearing the brunt now. Yes. Food scarcity is ravaging the north because of these Fulani herdsmen. So the ball is in their court. Of all the things they have been saying and doing, God is rewarding them abundantly. You know, they say those who live by the glass house should not throw stones. So if they are calling IPOB a terrorist group, how about themselves in the north? The thing have choked them so much that they can no longer talk. Northern leaders, it is a very big shame on all of you who are calling IPOB a terrorist organization. Meanwhile, your children are the real terrorists. Your children are the, yes, they are the one. They are the one that get back to them. They are the one that bred them. At least Shegumi told us that those bandits are their boys. They are their boys. Anybody that attack them will not get their vote and all that. Then this other one, Baraje Kawu, was the one who went all over the place. Say yes, we invited terrorists. We invited this Fulani jihadi to come. That jihad has started in Nigeria. So when you saw and heard all these things, the same northern leaders have no shame to be calling others terrorists. Meanwhile, they are the real terrorists themselves. All of them. They are the real terrorists because they are the ones that brought this problem of Nigeria. Northern leaders are the problem of Nigeria. Let them accept it. I have mentioned names here, and the thing that they are not even apologetical about it. So how can we be living with terrorists? If they don't want to live in peace with Nigeria, then they should move out. They should move out instead of them to be causing problems. Look at since how many years now. These people will not let us rest. Unfortunately, nobody is talking to them. Everybody just feel like, I don't mention their name as if they are God. How long are we going to live with these people in this type of condition? Look at how many lives that have been wasted all over Nigeria. All over Nigeria, not just especially in the north. So where did they come from?
All right, but where did they come from? What will be the way forward for people to use to continue to get information wey go help them push for the right cause? Wetin be the way forward we will fit get now?
It is because of what we are doing. Advocacy. People should rise up and ask the North to question, because we should be calling out names now. We should call a spade a spade. Because if this type of nonsense were to be coming from another region, I wonder what the North will be saying. Now that it's from their region, what are they doing to stop it? Nothing. Rather, they will find a way to blame other people. One loud mouth to say that they should not release Nnamdi Kanu because he's a terrorist, without giving evidence, without showing all the things that a terrorist organization is known for.
They don't swan 100 billion naira.
So these are the things we are talking about. When they commit all these heinous crimes, they will look for somebody to blame.
Thank you.
When they know to commit this thing that they are used to, especially terrorism, they will look for somebody to blame it on their head. Who brought all this problem? Is it me? All the terrorism, all the people that have made our farm not to go to farm, is it IPOB? Why is it that people are not talking about this? Is very serious issue. Everybody kept quiet. We let the leprosy that is worried us and we are treating rashes. So at what point are we going to...
This is the end of our news update. Please click the icon on the top right corner of your screen to watch my next video. You will enjoy it. I will see you again in my next update. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye for now.